Hello, my name is Adolfo, and this is Life of Adolfo. Today I'm going to talk about a home insurance claim and the way I filed it. And the reason I say I is because I'm in the state of Texas. Maybe other states have something the way they do it, but I feel like everything is going to land similar at the end. At the same time, I'm not an insurance claim um, inspector or so on. I'm just the person that filed it. And I'm giving you my story because when I did it, I was afraid. I didn't want to do an insurance claim because I felt it was similar to a vehicle. That if a vehicle you buy it for 26,000, 5 years later you get in an accident, they're gonna give you the value of the car minus the depreciation, and they're basically probably gonna give you 10,000 only. So that's the way my mentality was at that point. So I'm gonna give you the scenario. I live in the state of Texas, in the city near Austin. Once again, it might be different from one insurance company to the other, but I feel like they need to follow a certain regulation from the state. That's why I'm giving you my story. So I'm gonna give you at the beginning on what I filed my claim. So I was in the San Antonio, like I said, I live near Austin, and somebody texted me that there was hail. When I got home, I saw big hails on the grass, and I looked around, checked the windows and so on, no damage. 3, 4 months later, it was raining heavy. Inside my house, there was water. I called a roofer so they could check my roof. And he checked it. He put some cohesive or whatever it's called to prevent certain areas where he feels that the water was coming in. He also told me I should file an insurance claim because there's sufficient hail damage in my roof. He is the person that told me that how the depreciation and so on works. Basically, he said that they're going to cover everything minus the 1% or whatever you put when you put your house under an insurance, which was 1%. So at that point, I decided to call the insurance company on the phone. And this is where I'm going to put on one part of my video who I'm talking to so you can know, instead of saying, was he talking to this person or that person, you know who I was talking to while I'm making this video. So I called the insurance. There was like 4, 5, 6 types of prongs, which one to select. I picked under claims. Under claims, they told me that they wanted my account number, my address, and my name. So I went to look for my insurance paperwork. I found my account number. I already knew my address, and I already knew my name. They asked me when did it happen. And at that point, I did not know when it happened because it's been like 4 months and I didn't recall the exact dates. So I still gave them all the details and so on. They gave me a trouble number. And on that trouble number, they say that someone is going to call me. And they were going to call me within 24 hours. Step 2, the adjuster called me within 24 hours. So now I'm talking to the adjuster. He called me and same question is, when did it happen? At that point, I don't remember if I checked when it happened or not, but he told me that he's going to check the weather report to see if there was any type of hail on the weather report within the X amount. Now, this is where you need to take the initiative. I'm not sure when, for how long of a period you could file a claim. I know I filed mine within 4 months. I know my neighbor filed his within 6 or 7 months. So I'm not sure if it's 6, 7, a year that you could file a claim. You cannot wait 2, 3 years and file a claim. So he checked the weather report. He said that a field adjuster was going to call me to set an appointment within 24 hours. And then he sent me an email on what I need to pay out of pocket, which is 1% over 2,400. And the email also stated I need to pay then the insurance will pay me. So I'm gonna try to explain that part. So basically, he told me that the value of the house, and I needed to pay 1%. That 1% was $2,400 because they said that my house was worth $240,000. Do not look at Realtor. Do not look at Zillow. Do not look at all those for your value of your house. They're gonna tell you the value of your house. And on my scenario, it was good that they told me what the value of my house is because Zillow, Realtor, they have my house way up there. I would have been paying way more. So listen to them. They're gonna tell you what the value of your house is, and they're gonna tell you the 1% and how much you need to pay. For me, it was $2,400. They also told me that I needed to pay the insurance, which was kind of complicated the way they were telling me. So I'm gonna try to move a little bit forward on the way how that part works. So I'm not gonna jump over. So just remember that I had to pay 2,400 out of pocket. So part three, the field adjuster called me to set an appointment. Then the day that the field adjuster came in, he checked my roof. Now the pros of the field adjuster is that they are a middleman. Yes, the insurance is the one that assigned them to come to my house, but they're not being biased. They're like a third party. So when he came to check my roof, he told me that there there's sufficient hail to cover it under my insurance. I also showed him where the leak was at, and he measured it and everything. But since the roofer covered it, the person, he couldn't find where the water was coming from. So hopefully that makes sense. But there was raining like for a week, then it's gonna stop, then it's gonna start again. That I had to cover the leak. So he said he couldn't find where the leak was at. So and in that part, I couldn't prove where it was from, but the roof, there was sufficient damage. So I'm just trying to cover two parts of the scenario. Now I'm just gonna focus on the roof, the shingles. Part four, I waited for a response. I called the insurance after 1 week or 2 weeks, and I told them I haven't received nothing. The insurance individual told me we don't know we don't know your email address, even though they already sent me documents on email. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna give him my email again, and as soon as I give him my email, they send me some paperwork, and they send me a check. And this is where things get confusing for me when I saw the email. On the email, they sent me the paperwork and it said how much they're gonna cover, the depreciate the 1% that I need to cover, and the depreciation. So I'm gonna give you the scenario on the way I saw it on my paperwork. They say that they're gonna cover 10,000. So imagine it's 22,400. They say they're gonna cover 10,000. 1% that I need to cover 2,400, and the depreciation of 10,000. So in my mind, I said, oh, that means that I need to pay 12,400. That was my mentality at that point, which I was incorrect. So at that point, they send me a check. When it comes with a check, it's the person that is giving you the loan, which is for me the bank, and it was me and my wife. So three people need to sign it. If it's only one individual in the bank, then both of you need to sign it. If it's only you, then you need to sign it by yourself if you already paid off your house. Okay? So step 5. I go to the bank with the check. The check was sent to me by mail after step 4. I told my wife sign the check. I went to the bank. I went over there and I signed it, and they signed it. They also need the adjuster's worksheet, the bank. So make sure that you get the adjuster's worksheet. Once he signs it, he goes makes the copy. That's the bank. So whatever he wants to do, as long as I get the check back, he could do copies and so on. He did something on the computer. He stamped it, the check, and now it's in my possession again. When I got the check and I was talking to the bank because I want to learn every procedure to make this video, he said some people want to come over here and they give the check to the roofer, but the roofer cannot do nothing because it requires your signature, your whoever else signature, and it requires them to basically be there, like have proof. Maybe a bank lets you do it, but the bank that I went to, they say that I had to go there physically. Once I get all the signatures, this is where I leave the bank and I go to my own personal bank. I deposited the check in my bank account so it could create, so it basically the funds are in my own personal bank. So on the next step, I went to look for a roofing company to do my roof. I went to a company that they said that they handle insurance claims. And the reason I went to one of them is because I felt like they knew the process of and the procedures to do if you have an insurance claim. So they sent me the project supervisor. He came in and he checked the value of the area that needs to be replaced. Because remember, the depreciation that the insurance told me was 10,000. This is just a scenario. He told me that it's gonna be a little bit more. So in my mind, I felt like I was gonna pay 12,400 plus whatever he was saying. So he was explaining to me that the insurance company gives me 10,000, I pay 2,400, and then the insurance company is gonna give me the rest. I didn't know that. I thought that I was gonna pay 12,400. So now I felt a little bit better on how much I had to pay. So he checked the measurements. He told me it's gonna cost a little bit more, but the insurance company is gonna cover it. And at that point, he said that he's gonna send the how much the estimate is gonna be to the insurance company. I also wanted laminated shingles, so he told me that those were gonna cost me more. But he was gonna come back with the work order and let me think on what shingles that I want, the color, and if I want it laminated or not. He came in with the work order. He gave me what color did I want. I picked the color that I wanted, and I signed a contract. When I signed that contract, he told me he needs 2 checks. The first check is the exact quantity that the insurance company gave me. The second check is the 2,400, the 1% that I had to put on a separate check. On the contract, it basically said how much it's going to cost, what shingles that I want, and I signed it. And he also told me that the measurements were incorrect, so it's going to cost a little bit more, like I mentioned, and they're going to send them to the insurance company. The next step, they come in, they take the old shingles out, they put the new ones, the laminated ones, and they complete the project. The following step, the insurance company asked me for proof that I paid whatever the quantity that they gave me plus my 1%. So the project supervisor of the roofing company knew what the insurance company was going to ask me. Because the insurance company sent me an email and said, If there's no proof, we cannot give you the second part of the check of the insurance claim. At that point, I felt like the roofing company helped me and explained to me better than the insurance company. But I did not have the I did not have a copy of the checks. So I called the project supervisor of the roofing company. He sends them to me. I send them to the insurance company. And at that point, the insurance company, now that they have proof, they send me the second part of the check. Remember, it's going to cost a little bit more. The project supervisor talked to the insurance company. They send me the total cost. At that point, I did the same scenario from the previous check. Me, my wife signed it. I went to the bank that loaned me the money for my mortgage. They signed it. I went to my personal bank, deposited. Then I called the project supervisor, the roofing company. Then I gave them a check of what they gave me plus the cost of the laminated that I asked as an upgrade. Once I gave them that check, because I gave them one instead of doing two. Once I gave them that check, everything was complete. So hopefully you understand how the procedure is. If you have questions, just ask me, send me a comment, and I'll tell you the way I did my procedure. Not sure if it's going to be the same for you, but it gives you an idea that I only paid 1% plus the upgrade. Thank you. Thank you for watching.